Hey guys, glad you could join me today. We're going to break open the Bible and we're going to take a look at it because it is the source. If you want to know who God is, you got to go here. All right? So we're going to take a look today at this idea of God's mercy. It's one of his central characteristics. Who he is, in part, is defined by his merciful nature. And so let's take a look at that. And because that's who God is, and we're trying to follow Jesus and be like him, well, that's something we need to learn to show to people as well. So let's go. All right, first of all, you need to know there's two kinds of mercy that the Bible talks about, okay? There's the kind of mercy that is a relief from some kind of suffering. So physical suffering, whether it's an illness or broken bones or something. You know, there's something physical that's going on that we need relief from, or maybe a spiritual thing or an emotional problem. But whatever it is, we are suffering, and God, we call on God, and he comes and has mercy on us, and suffering is taken away. It is relieved in some way or another. Not because of something we did, not because of something necessarily a person did, although God can use people to do that. But oftentimes, he works in miraculous ways. And so there's that kind of mercy, and then there's also the other kind of mercy. Mercy number 2 is when we do not get what we deserve. All right, so we've sinned and we don't get the punishment that we've earned. So let's get into it. Number 1, when God relieves our suffering in some way. Okay, Psalm chapter 31. It's written by King David, and King David was the man after God's own heart, okay? But he did not have an easy life, okay? He was king, but there was a good long period of time when he was not the king, and he didn't have an easy life of it. And matter of fact, more than once, he was literally on the run for his life. Okay? So, Psalm chapter 31, looking at verse 9, says this: "Have mercy on me, Lord, for I am in distress. Tears blur my eyes. My body and my soul are withering away." Maybe he was a little overly dramatic there. I don't know. But the point is that he's calling out on God for mercy. He's suffering, and he knows that God's the only one who can help him. And guys, that's something we need to do. When we are suffering in whatever way it is, we need to ask God for mercy. All right? So, number 2, remember, is that we do not get what we deserve. You guys remember King David was a man after God's own heart. He chased after God wholeheartedly. But you know what? He still screwed up. And when he did, he royally screwed up. I mean, we're talking full-fledged adulterous affair, okay? And if that's not enough, if just being unfaithful to your wives is not something that is bad enough for you, well, he tried to cover this up by having the lady's husband that he slept with her. Her husband was a soldier in his army. He tried to have him killed. So, basically commit murder. Okay? So, King David commits adultery and then basically commits murder. And so, he writes, Psalm chapter 51, after God nails his hide to the wall for this sin. Psalm chapter 51, David starts it off like this: "Have mercy on me, O God, because of your unfailing love, because of your great compassion, blot out the stain of my sins." Guys, he knows he screwed up, but he's just asking for God's mercy. Not because he deserves it, but because God is compassionate, because he is merciful. All right? And so we need to copy that. We need to understand that we deserve death. That, like Romans says, the wages of sin is death. We've earned it time and time again. We need to call out on God for mercy as well. And so what we need to do is we need to stop and we need to remember that we show mercy as well, okay? So let's take a look at Matthew chapter 5. It's going to be verse 7, okay? This is where God tells us, or one of the ways that God tells us to be merciful. Matthew chapter 5, verse 7 says, "God blesses those who are merciful, for they shall be shown mercy." So guys, it's right there. Plain and simple call. Be merciful. That's what I had for you today. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Take care.